ready to win. You know what I'm saying? We're tired of losing, so we're trying to win some games.
Houston Rockets Summer League. It has begun.
Summer League Stars. Yo, our boys are balling, son.
It sucks to see a man go down, but we kind of already know what we're getting from him, so rest up.
I was thoroughly pleased with him. Like, I like what I seen. You know what I mean? Like, he kind of embraced the challenge to go ahead with Scoot. I thought he guarded the ball well. I think when he gets to the big team, he could switch a lot of shit for us, which will help. I see him doing a lot of things that Kevin Porter did for us, maybe a little bit better on the defensive side. I liked it.
Yeah, that he looks ready to go, poised for his NBA career to start on it. How has Cam Whitmore looked for you in the 2 games as of this recording?
I thought I don't want to say he struggled a little bit in the first game. I thought the pace of play was a little bit like maybe he just didn't have his legs underneath him. I wanted him to play faster. He played much faster in this game against Detroit. He shot the ball a lot better against the game in Detroit. I like Cam Whitmore. I really do. I like how he's got range, man. He's shooting the ball 3 feet behind 3-point line. He's got a really high release. I like his back cuts. I noticed a lot, especially in the Summer League, that he does a lot of what Tari does. But he's probably a better shot creator. I like it. I like the kid.
Yeah, for me, like game 1, it was just decision making that I really, I guess, questioned a bit. But it wasn't like, oh man, this is gonna be a struggle. It's Summer League. But to see transition from game 1 to game 2 of what he changed, I was like, okay, 19 years old. Yeah, he's gonna be good. Like, thank you.
He played much faster in this Detroit game, which surprised me because I thought they were a fast team, and he was running by him in the first quarter. I like that. Another thing that I noticed about Cam Whitmore in this game, especially in the first half, that I really liked is that when there was any free throws being taken, he would make his way over to the bench to talk to the coach. So it's like, all right, he's either asking or he's listening, but he's not a dick. He's not an ass. So he's doing what he has to get better. And I like that.
Yeah. He's not sitting there just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, you know, I'm the guy already. It's like, you see the will to want to learn. And that's one thing I think we're seeing with a lot of them. I mean, speaking on guys that have already, you know, played an NBA season, Tari Eason, we'll start with him. Stellar.
But you know, he's probably my favorite player to watch on the Rockets, and I'm a Jabari and Jalen guy, but Tari, he just makes the right play all the time. If there's a play to be made, he makes the right decision, and I fucking love it. Glad he's on our team.
Yeah, for me, like, Tari Eason is that guy that every team wants, where he knows his role, he knows what to do, what not to do, how much to give, how much not to give, and he's content with just that. If you need a little more from me, I'll give it. If you don't need a little more, I can back it and still play my game at a high intensity. And I mean, the pass alone in game 1 to Jabari, like, was amazing pass. Like,
the pass was his best play, but he had basically ended somebody's career with a dunk in the second quarter. So he ended somebody's career before it started. Like, Tari's amazing. And I like to see how much better. I expected Jabari and Tari to be better than everybody else, considering how much time they got in the regular season last year. Like, we expect you should be better. And they are. Like, they stick out like sore thumbs that they're that much better. And I kind of like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautiful to see that, you know, you have young guys. And I mean, a lot of media questioned, why is Tari playing? Why is Jabari playing? But like, Jabari said it. Jabari's like, dude, I'm young. Like, there's a lot I need to work on, especially after a season we had last year. Like, you can tell, like, he comes from that NBA, like, father.
And if people don't believe that, or people even question that, at this time last year, I remember everybody was like, Jabari can't dribble. Like, this dude cannot dribble a ball. Today, a year later, he literally pushed the ball and was facilitating offense for us. And so it tells me you're working on shit, and I fucking love that. You know what I mean? Like, that's why Summer League's here. That's why he's playing. You know, Tari Eason, like, he's done a lot of one-on-one scoring in this Summer League. And it's like, that's good because you're the 6th or 7th man. So we expect you to try to go get plays for us. And I like what I see from those two.
Yeah, and I think people need to understand also it's a new system. They're learning a new system, Ime Udoka system. Of course, Bob's running it, but it's a new thing, and I have loved the fact that the other players have been there. We saw Dylan Brooks in game 2 hanging out with Şengün and them. In the first game, you saw pretty much everybody there.
Van Vliet was there. Yeah. Jalen was there. KPJ was there. Everybody.
Even we all know, jokes aside, Tillman is the owner of the team, but his son is the guy that's pretty much running it, always there, always in. And so he was there also with Raphael and Ime, which was kind of cool. It's like at least one of the owners is invested deeply.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. And so I'm cool with it. Who, I guess, on the roster has impressed you? It's kind of been hard when Jabari's throwing up 35 points and Tari's throwing up 27. But I look at like Darius Day on 2-man contract. He's getting his time to play today against a big Detroit team.
Yeah. Not to keep harping back on it, bro, but I'm going to say Cam Whitmore. And the reason I say that is because like he didn't have the best game against Portland, but he still had good numbers.
Yeah.
Like Brandon Miller had those same numbers and y'all praised him. And and Whitmore had a much better second game, and they didn't really run plays for him. He either went to get it himself or he strictly played off the ball, making cuts or running the lane. And it's like, my point is like he's done enough to where you can almost say, fuck the G League. You cannot send this guy to the G League. He can't go to the G League under no circumstance unless it's like he really ain't getting minutes, but he's just too good.
Like I feel honestly at this point, Amin and Cam can be very valuable pieces off of that bench.
Yes.
And all that stuff. I mean, we'll see where it dictates down the line. I mean, Jabari playing like this though.
And I know it's gonna sound retarded saying this, but I kind of want a player like Whitmore to be around Dylan Brooks as much as possible. You know what I mean? Like I want that, but I want him to be around Tari Eason. I want him to be around those guys, the Londales. You know what I'm saying?
That's why we got veterans. That was the whole reason to bring those veterans in to not only hone the skill set of the players. I mean, you already see Fred VanVleet and Jalen Green working out. Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks said that they talked to each other. They were hyped to work with each other. Like, that's what I want to see. Like, Dylan Brooks went up against, as much as everybody jokes, all the memes and everything, he went up against top quality players. I mean, he was guarding LeBron. He was guarding everybody's best defender and stuff. So he can guard it. Now, he even said it, though. I want whatever I have to rub off on these young guys. And, and that's what you want. You want a whole team to buy in that one thing. And especially that defense for Ime, which we know that's what he's been harping on forever since he's been.
I think we're going to be, I'm going to use the word that you use all the time to talk about the Texans. We're going to be pesky as shit, bro. Like, I think we're going to get on people's nerves. And I liken it to kind of how New Orleans was a couple years ago when they got CJ McCollum up until they lost in the playoffs to Phoenix. It's like they were just pissing people off with energy and effort. And I think that we can do the same.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's the perfect word for it. I mean, just players of you. It's weird because you look at the players that were just drafted, like just focusing on that 3 years of drafting, and
there's a lot to be excited about.
Yes, it's the core of it. And you and me always talk about it. And nobody outside of Houston seems to give it praise unless your name's Richard Jefferson, but the core of guys that you drafted and the multiple picks of players that are still here that have turned into quality NBA players, almost superstars. I mean, you have your Jalen Green fans, you have your Alfred Şengün fans, you have your Tari Eason fans, your Jabari Smith fans. I mean, you're going to have your Amin fans, you're going to have your Cam Whitmore fans. Like, just those guys alone.
And that's still not including KPJ, Jayshawn Tate, Londale, VanVleet. So, like, I was thinking about this yesterday. I forgot what we were talking about. I was thinking about this. And I was like, how the hell are we going to play all these people, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Then I got to thinking. I was like, the 2008 We Believe Golden State Warriors team, the 8 seed that beat Dallas, that team kind of reminds me of what we have in the sense that they played a shit ton of people in their rotation, and they had some of the freakiest lineups I ever seen. They can go small as the league wants to or as big as the league wants to. And I think that we have 10 or 12 people on our lineup that we can do the same with. And that kind of excites me, bro.
Yeah. And you see it from the way they played Portland to the way they're playing Detroit, a much bigger team. I mean, Detroit got like 7 damn centers. So you're looking at the way that a real coaching staff is able to manipulate and change things. I'm hyped, dog. Like, bro,
the other thing is like, if you like, just to your point you just made, like, we played big today against Detroit, but one of the things that saved us is the 5 position was able to hit the 3. Whoever this Huff guy is, I've seen him play in summer league a couple times, but he hit a 3 early. Jabari, he switched to the 5 and he hit a couple 3s. So that opened the court up for everybody else. All right, well, you take some of these guys off that I don't know, like, I'm not familiar with Hudgens, but you put him in, you put Jalen Green in that spot, and can you imagine that? Him getting those buckets? You know what I'm saying? So, like, whoever's playing the 5 position needs to be making these 3s or shooting them at the very least. So, like, that's one thing that I noticed in Summer League. Sengun, that message was for you, bro. You got to shoot that shit.
Yeah, and they're gonna focus on that 3-pointer for sure. I know there was a moment in the game against Detroit, Cam gave up a 3, but it ended up working out because Tari was wide open. But we saw a lot of that last year where it was like wide open 3s just missed or not taken. It's like, come on, like, you have to shoot it. If you're that wide open, you got to shoot it.
Because they're disrespected. And plus, like, I feel more confident that you have different people to play that role, like if Sengun don't want to shoot it. Because, like I said, you could go Tari at the 5. I mean, Jabari at the 5, and he's going to shoot that ball. So I feel good about it.
Man,
I'm excited, bro.
Houston Rockets fans, it is. I get it. It was a tough 3 years, if that. It's gonna get better. Now, don't sit there and start saying championship and all that. But being realistic, you're gonna get some great quality basketball teams. You're gonna get competitive basketball, which we have not seen in a while.
Yeah, that's what you want. Yes. I'm sick of losing 5 games in a row by 20. I don't want to see that shit no more.
Yeah, and you're gonna get a lot of players that you are going to fall in love with this season for sure. If you had to pick one, who is your guy?
Ooh.
Early guy right now that you think is gonna be like it?
I'm gonna go. See, I think
way too early. We're going with a way too early one.
It is way too early. I think Jalen Green puts the league on notice, but my favorite's Jabari. I think Jabari is gonna have such a increase in everything he's done compared to last year. I'll say Jabari. If Summer League's any indication, I just feel like this is going to be the year, though, that Jalen gets to average over 20.
Yeah. I think Jalen's going to put in a lot of offensive juggernaut numbers, but I just feel Jabari from an all-around standpoint of guarding the way that fadeaway that he's been doing, bro, at 6'11" is just –
So another player that might sneakily surprise, like, is a min. I fucking love any point guard who has – what a shot, Whitmore – who has a floater in their bag and knows how to use it. And Scoot stuck one in his face the other day, and he got the mad, bro. Thompson hit a floater from 5 foot. He hit a floater from 7 foot. He hit a floater from 12 foot. And that's just the estimate, but they were getting increasingly bad. And I was like, if you can hit that floater and draw that big man to you away from that basket, everything's fucking open from that point. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, this dude can make so much happen for us just with that one shot. I seen that the other day, and I was like, oh, shit, I might like this guy more than I thought.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to pick a favorite. Very soon.
Like, I, honest to God, am very pleased with every young player on our team. I am thoroughly pleased with what I don't know that my expectations are realistic for all of them, but I do believe all of them are the right players that we should have gotten, and they're actually going to help us.
Yeah, and looking at just Jabari as a small sample of the work he put in, his yoga, like he said, I'm doing yoga to help me out. You know, I'm working out in the gym all the time. I'm working on what he was struggling with, his dribbling and his different shooting methods and all. You see it transition now into this. Tari Eason fixed what he needed to. So going forward, I only have positive thoughts that you two were lower than Jalen and Şengün, and they've been working with the same coaches, with the same staff. Like, I'm kind of
like, if you go back and look at that Portland game, it was kind of a close. I mean, it was a close game all the way through because we had a buzzer beater. But there was a point in time where Jabari and Tari were switched. They were literally fighting through screens to stay on the ball on the perimeter, and I was like, they could easily hang their hat on being the OG of the team right now and say, I didn't come here for that shit, but they didn't. Like, they fought through the screens. They tried to play good defense. They did what they had to win the game, and I was like, that's because they're still working. I fucking love it. No disrespect, Silas, but it looked like a lot of shit changed when you left.
And you could tell the players were their mindset this year is just totally different. Like, they're not playing AAU basketball. They're playing legit basketball with play calling. Like, the game one with Silas would have been like, hey, just throw it in, bro. Like, we'll get the next game.
And not to be like an old head or a complainer or a bitch or anything like that. One thing I did not like, not yet at least, is how Tari was taunting Portland after we beat them the other night with the Dame Lillard way. Like, I didn't really care for that because that's shit that they would have did in Memphis, and we don't really want to do that. But whatever. I
think you're the like you said, the OG of summer league, so it's like, you get away with it. Have your fun, bro. But regular season, when you're going up against them big boys, I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see that shit.
Leave that later. Like, once the beefs start happening and all that, then you can all right. But for right now, don't start it if you don't have to.
I still feel like win some games. You know what I'm saying? Because the second Sacramento started doing dumb shit like that, they didn't win no more games. So let's just hoop for now. I'm excited though.
Oh man, Rockets fans, man, we're going to be here talking a lot, at least until summer league, because after that, then it kind of dies down for a bit until October.
And then y'all gotta hear us talk about football.
Yeah. So man, make sure y'all like, subscribe to the network. Bayou City Boys got you covered on all Houston sports, Rockets, Astros, Texans, anything else that pops up, we'll do it. Cougs and everything else.
Start the petition. Bring back Tata. All Houston, bring back Tata because they did our boys wrong, Brook Lopez and his whole ass. But we want Tata back since nobody else seems to.
F you, Brook Lopez. We need to save our boy.
Yeah.
Well, and we do need a point guard because then we only got Aaron Holiday.
I don't give a shit if we don't need a point guard. Tata to the H.
Let's make it happen, Houston. Go to Twitter. Go write that shit down. Y'all be safe, Houston. Stay hydrated. It's going to be a hot one this week. We out.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.